Hi, I'm Jessica Swindell. Today I'm going to discuss bridging the communication gap between generations. In today's workforce, there could possibly be up to 5 different generations: baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha. My own family, I have 4, as you can see here. Which generation are you? Now that we've identified our generation, let's see the different ways these generations communicate. Telephone, face-to-face, email, text messages, all the different social media platforms, news media, and newspapers. And so what is the communication gap between all the generations and all the different ways of communicating? Well, the gap happens when exchanging of information between parties is detached or broke down. It can happen anytime when you're communicating and one person doesn't get the message across, or the person receiving the information misunderstands or doesn't get it at all. Common places that communication gaps occur is 1, home with your families, schools, teachers and parents, work, employers, employees, at a store with customers and employees, doctor's office, and really anywhere information is being shared. And it's easy to understand that everyone is affected by the communication gap, whether it's in the workforce, under your own roof, or you're sharing information with anyone, a point of view, or a conversation. And what are all the different ways we do communicate with each other? Telephone, face-to-face, email, text messages, social media platforms, media, and newspapers. And over time, the way we have communicated has most definitely changed. We start with the maturists, where they had formal letters and face-to-face. Then we go to a telephone, face-to-face, possibly email. Gen X is email, text messages. That's it. Generation Y, text messages, social media, online, and mobile phones. Gen Z, any handheld device, and FaceTime. The reason the gap exists mostly is due to age and knowledge of different and newer ways to communicate, and the lack of respect the young have for the old, and the old respecting the young. And there's different attitudes and different work styles. All of this goes into the communication gap. Now, the communication gap does bring challenges. It leads to work not being done, arguments among family and employees, and just straight up confusion if you don't understand what someone is trying to communicate to you, or confusion if you can't communicate with someone else. Now, how to bridge that gap? In an office setting, the leader should clearly have a document that states the policy of what communication outlets will be used for communication. Direct messages, instant messages, email, videos. Just make it clear. Also, speak up. If you're having an issue communicating with a team member or someone in your family and you simply don't understand something, speak up. Then, technology training. Technology is probably the biggest way to bridge the gap. The more technology becomes available, the older crowd is going to have to get on board and learn it. So, as an employer, or maybe even in your own family, have some really great training on the technology, how to use it effectively. Next, encourage that face-to-face communication. If you don't understand, texting, emailing can all be misconstrued. So, go face-to-face and talk. And a big one is just respect one another. If you respect one another, you'll communicate good. It may be tough to put an end to communication gaps, but being proactive by setting goals, offer training, and by creating a comfortable atmosphere can definitely reduce the communication gap. If you are in a leadership role, it is pivotal to make sure your team or family feels comfortable enough to ask questions and always lead by example by recognizing the gap and finding the best way to help others communicate. This will bridge your communication gap. Thank you. This is my reference page.